Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Painting Hyun. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the 5-step of coloring chart that we learned the 5 steps in the previous video. So we are going to exercise that again and we will paint the peonies today. Here are the 5 steps of the coloring chart. Number 1, light tone of color. Number 2, 3, 4, 5. In this peony, here is number 1 value. Here is the number 1, the lightest tone of color. Here is the number 2 and 3 and 4. We will use up to number 4 value in today's painting. And today we are going to be using only 3 colors simply: Vermilion, Quinacridone Magenta, and sap greens. Okay, let's start by sketching. First, draw several lines to create the shape and size of the peony. Then, draw backside of the petals and side of the petals step by step. Now I'm using a 2H pencil, which I always use. Make sure the peony's petals shape, and then if you don't like it, erase some part and draw again. And I also love to add a small bud, flowers cup, stems, and flowers leaves here and there. And I prefer to draw stems and leaves that are not perfectly straight, because a straight stem and flowers cup make the painting less interesting to me. Is that right? You too? Okay, next we are going to make a coloring chart for today's painting. Today we will start which number 1 using Vermilion and just a touch of Quinacridone Magenta. So we are going to number 1, 2, 3, 4 value. We make sure the mark. So we will start with number 1 using Vermilion and just a touch of Quinacridone. Then number 2, mid-tone of color, we will mix a bit more of Vermilion and Magenta. For step number 3, mix a slightly thicker Vermilion and Magenta. And for step number 4, mix a slightly thicker than number 3 tone of coloring. Okay. Since we have finished sketching, let's move on to coloring. First, apply a small amount of water to the flower petals. For today, I'm going to use a mixture of Vermilion and Quinacridone Magenta. So next, create a mixture of light tone using Vermilion and Magenta, marked as number 1. So apply the number 1 value of the mixture to the petals where we apply the water. Okay. When applying color, leave a small space between the petals. And next, in number 2 value of color to the petals where we previously applied the number 1 value of color. The paper still has a lot of water on its surface, so the colors will spread well and look natural. I love that effect, spreading naturally and smoothly. And apply the number one value of color to the petals at the back as well. Okay, back to the first petals. Take the number 3 value of color onto the number 2 value part of the petals. That area is still slightly damp, so use your brush with a small amount of water. Using a brush with too much water may make dirty marks here and there. So be careful using your brush, how much hold the water in your brush. And this area we didn't apply water first, so the color won't spread. And I use a brush for blending nicely. Okay, next apply the number 4 value of the mixture. I mixed the thicker vermilion and magenta. And then quickly move your brush from down to up. And sometimes I also use brush stroke from top to bottom and down to up, top to bottom. And I put a darker colors in the corners between the petals and then blend that colors well and nicely with a small brush. Draw some veins in the petals and here and there. And when you draw veins, move your brush quickly and softly move from down to up and sometimes up to down. Now I'm using number 4 value of the color. Make sure the shape and colors the corner between petals. I'm still working on the petals. I'm using number 4 value of the color. Okay, it's time move on to the small bud. First, apply number 1 value of Vermilion in the flower area, and take number 2 value of Vermilion in the top of the bud and down part of the bud. Do not apply number 2 value in the middle part of the bud area. This will give it a three-dimensional appearance. Take a number 1 value of subgreen to apply in the bird, stems, and flower cups first. This is the number 1 value, and take a little bit thicker subgreen. This one is a number 1 value. Take a number 1 value of subgreen to apply in the bud, stem, and flower cups first. Okay, next take a little bit thicker of the subgreen. Yeah, this one is the number 2 value of the green. Take a number 2 value of subgreen to add on the number 1 value of bud, stem, and flower cups. You should apply before the part of the paper dried. I mean the part paper is still damp. Next, apply number 3 value of subgreen to the tip of the stems and the leaves. That will give it a three-dimensional appearance and looking natural and organic. And look at my brush stroke, move very quickly and softly, right? Because there are still a bit of water in the paper. And then I want to add the flower color into the leaves and stems. This will also help looking natural. And then add some dots to the edge of the leaves. This will give them an even look and enhance your painting. Finally, add the flower color on the leaf and stems. And then lastly, let's draw some veins in the leaves using number 3 value, the mixture of magenta and subgreen. Today we are using number 1, 2, 3, 4 value of a coloring chart in the subgreen, number 1 and number 2 value of green. Finally, I'm going to do splattering in the background as always, and I hope that you can learn to paint more easily using my coloring chart. I hope your paintings become even more enjoyable. Okay, I'm splattering Thank you for watching. Before you go, don't forget subscribe, hit the like button, give me a comment. See you next time. Bye.